I'm here at Montague Island on the New South Wales south coast. I'm also with George, Max and Milo, and we're all going swimming with the seals. Woo! There are lots of different types of seals. They come under the name pinniped. These guys up here are fur seals, which means they're not true seals. The difference is that these guys have external ear flaps and they use all four flippers to get up onto the rocks. True seals, they can't use their flippers to get onto rocks. They kind of haul themselves out onto the sand or the rocks and they just lie there. They kind of look lazy. There are two types of fur seals that live here on the island. The Australian fur seal and the New Zealand fur seal. And there's a kind of cool way to tell them apart. The Australian fur seals will poo on the rocks and then lie in their own poo. Yuck. Whereas the New Zealand fur seals will actually poo over into the water and lay on a nice, clean rock. I think that's more my style. These fur seals might look cute, but their breath actually stinks. Their diet consists of fish, squid, krill, and sometimes birds, like penguins. All right, should we go for a dive?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Three, two, one, go! Fur seals have a lot of fun. When they're in the water, they can swim up to 40 kilometres an hour. So fast. A human can only swim around 8 kilometres an hour, so they will beat us in a race any day. Now we know fur seals are really fast, but they can also dive up to 200 metres. That is almost as high as a 50-storey building. Crazy. Sometimes it looks like the seals are waving at us. They lay in the water with their flippers up in the air. But this is actually called thermoregulation, and it's a way for them to control their body temperature. So if they're too hot, they stick their fins out and they can cool down. Or if they're cold, the sun can actually warm them up. It's a really cool way to regulate their body. Day swimming with the seals, didn't we, guys?
Yeah!
See you later!
Back to judging books by their covers.
That's right, we're making different covers for different novels and then trying to guess the genre.
I've got my first one done. How about you?
I sure do.
Okay, well, I'm going to go first. Drum roll, please. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Wow. Isn't it perfect?
What can it be?
It is amazing. Here you go. I'll give you this. Let's see if you can work it out. Okay, I made a cover for a romance novel. I used beautiful pinks and reds that were really passionate and lovely, and a beautiful curly font. And the girl on the front, she's just looking out longingly at her love. It's just so beautiful. I can't wait to read it. Anyway, let's see what Pache thinks. What genre is it?
Jackie, is it romance?
You win! You're a winner!
Yes, I am.
I have an awesome spooky trick to show you. You ready? It's like a scary movie and the slime is a monster. Look at it eat the magnet. So creepy. To make this at home, you'll need 1 tablespoon of contact lens solution, 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 heaped cup of shaving cream, 1/3 of a cup of white PVA glue, iron filings, black food colouring, a rare earth magnet, and a bowl and something to mix with. The first step is to mix all your wet ingredients together. So I'm just going to put the shaving cream in, and my PVA glue. Oh, it's so sticky. And a tablespoon of contact lens solution. And lastly, I'm going to add a little bit of black food colouring. And give it a really big mix. Make sure it's all combined. Now it's time to add our dry ingredients. So I'm going to add some iron filings. Now these are really dangerous if you inhale them, so make sure you have an adult to do this step for you. So I'm going to do a generous sprinkle into the bowl. And finally, give it a mix again. And the final step is to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda and mix again. Once it's turned into a blob in the centre of the bowl, it's time to pick it up and mould it between your hands. I like to stretch it out and fold it back on itself because it gets all those air bubbles out. Cool, that looks great. Let's test it out. Grab your magnet and watch it come alive. Oh, that is so creepy. This is science, guys. Let's put the goo towards the side. Here's another little sciencey trick to explain what's happening with our slime. So I have a bottle of water and 2 magnets. I'm going to add some iron filings into it. There we go. As you can see, they're down at the bottom right now. But when I add my magnets either side, you can see that the iron filings start to come up with the magnet. When the iron gets close to the magnet, it becomes magnetised itself and causes this strong attraction. Whoa. The attraction is so strong that even though the iron filings are weighted down by the slime, they're still attracted to the magnet. Aw, it's true love.
Wow, Jackie, that slime was freaky.
It sure was, but you know what else is freaky? How good I am at judging a book by its cover challenge.
That's right, Jackie. Today we'll be taking the saying, don't judge a book by its cover, and doing the exact opposite. We're designing our own book covers and seeing if we can guess the genre.
Now it's my turn. Bartek, where's my book cover?
It's right here, Jackie. Can you guess it? Do you know what it is? Does she know? Will she guess? So I've made a mystery novel. It's got a lot of greys and blacks. Greys show that you're hiding something and blacks portray seriousness. The picture is lonely and cold and mysterious. Ooh, Jackie, time's up. Can you guess what it is?
Okay, so there's lots of dark greys, mysterious colours, and a few warning colours of yellow and red. I think it's a mystery novel.
You're a winner!
Yes! Yay, that's 1-1.
More judging coming up on Get Clever.
I'm Dr. Brian Lassard, aka Bri the Fly Guy, and I'm an entomologist that loves to study flies. Entomology is the study of insects. I work at CSIRO's Australian National Insect Collection in Canberra, and I get to play with 12 million insect specimens. This is where we keep all our specimens at the Australian National Insect Collection, and each drawer is home to hundreds of different specimens. And these are from the top to bottom, all 4 of these guys, and we have 4 aisles, just like this one. Ever since primary school, I've always loved going outdoors and just experiencing nature. So I knew I liked science, so I continued that in high school and then eventually did a degree at university in biology. And it wasn't until university where I discovered how amazing flies can be and how useful they are in our everyday life. And that's when I decided that I wanted to start studying them and make a career out of being a fly researcher. Once you start looking at flies, you can see how beautiful they are and how important they are to our everyday life. And I love going outside and seeing the flies' personality as they fly around with their friends during the day, and they even drink sugary drinks like us. the nectar from flowers is really high in sugar, and it gives them a lot of energy to get through their day. My job is to describe new species, and one of the best parts of my job is that I get to go around the world and collect these little guys, which I then bring back to the Australian National Insect Collection, and I put them under the microscope and identify them. So today we're using this sonicator to fragment our DNA. Sometimes these species are really hard to tell apart, so we have to use DNA to actually tell us which species are which. And how this works is that it has these ultra-high frequency sound waves that actually break the DNA apart. One of the exciting parts of being an insect scientist is that if you discover a new species, you get to name it. This is one of the new species that I'm describing, and it's probably one of my favorite. And it has a really bright purple shining abdomen, and it's really, really pretty. This is the first species I ever named, and it had a bright golden abdomen, so I named it after Beyonce. And this was a great way of showing how cool flies can be, and also getting people excited about taxonomy, the naming of species. Here's a local Australian species called a robber fly, and these are actually venomous. They catch other insects and inject venom into them and then eat them. But overseas, they can get so big, they can actually take down a small bird. A really weird thing that flies do is they actually dance. To get the female's attention, the flies won't fight each other, they'll actually have a dancer. So two competing males will fly in the air and swirl around and grab each other's legs and zip around in really tight circles, and they even hold hands and spin around. And the best dancer wins the female's attention. When you think of flies, you think of these hairy little creatures, but that's actually really useful when they pollinate. When the fly's hungry, they'll actually drink the nectar from a flower, and their hairs get covered in pollen, and they're really amazing pollinators. One really great pollinator that you've probably seen in your backyard is a little hoverfly. The hoverfly is kind of like a little helicopter that looks like a bee. It hovers around the flowers and feeds from them, and they even play around with their friends in the sunshine. Here are some of the smallest flies in the world, and you might not be able to see them, but each of these little pins has a tiny little fly glued to them. Baby flies are called maggots, and they can be pretty disgusting, but they also do some awesome things. If we didn't have maggots in the world, we'd be waist deep in waste. And this is because they get rid of rotting logs and also roadkill by eating it. Pretty gross. Some flies can also be a little bit nasty and are known to spread disease. Mosquitoes are a type of fly, and we all know that they can transfer some pretty bad diseases in Australia, like Ross River virus. But did you know it's only the female mosquito that bites because she needs protein in blood to ripen her eggs? The male mosquitoes are actually vegetarian. They drink nectar all day, and there's no worry about them biting you. Insects do a lot of things in the environment that we take for granted, like recycling nutrients and pollinating flowers. And it's really important to describe new species so we can better understand what species are in Australia. The best part of my job is going outdoors and discovering these amazing little creatures. And what's great as a scientist is you get to make these discoveries and discover things and new bits of information that no one else has known in the entire world. And that's what's great about science, is you get to make your own discoveries.
Welcome back to Judge a Book by its cover.
Jackie and I are literally doing just that, judging a book by their covers.
Now it's my turn. I think I've nailed it, Bart Chan.
Ooh.
I'm going to give you a few seconds to have a guess. Okay, I made a science fiction novel cover. It's pretty obvious with the futuristic robot on the front. It's really minimal, clean and unfeeling, and it makes you focus on the only thing in shot. The robot looks kind of evil. Let's see if he guessed it. What is your guess, Fart Chair?
I'm guessing science fiction. No, fancy. Science fiction!
Oh, winner! Woo! Stick around for the final round of Judge a Book by its cover.
Skydiving. It's an extreme sport where somebody willingly throws themselves out of a perfectly safe plane, head first towards the ground with only a parachute to protect them. Bananas. Absolutely crazy. It's a thrill-seeker sport and I am definitely not one of them. But what happens when you take away the parachute and the plane? I'm at an indoor skydiving centre, which is a little bit different to outdoor skydiving. There's no plane and there's no parachute. You use a wind tunnel. Wow! It's like this dude is actually flying. I'm here to find out how these wind tunnels work. But my mate Tom was meant to meet me here. Tom, where are you, mate? Tom! Oh! There he is. Mate, dude! Come outside, we'll have a chat. Tom, mate, how you going?
Good, mate.
Now, you're doing some pretty insane tricks in there, but other than doing that, what else do you do here?
I'm one of the flight instructors, so basically just introducing people to the joy of flight. It's a lot of fun.
And how long have you been doing this for?
I've been skydiving for about 5 years, and I've been working at iFlight London for about 18 months.
Now, the whole flying thing, how are you actually able to fly in the tunnel? You think you just, fall?
In the tunnel, basically, we've got 4 massive fans in the roof that are blowing air around the building, through the floor, and then up into the tunnel.
So it's just rotating around, basically?
Yeah, 100%. So it goes down either side of the building, up through the middle, and then back through like so. That point just works on surface area that you're creating with your body. So the bigger you go with your body, the further you go up, you create lift. The smaller you create your body, the further you go down and create less lift. Literally just think about your body as an aircraft and your arms are like your wings. If you turn your arms, that's going to allow you to turn around and perform different things.
Why was it invented?
Originally, this was invented by the Wright brothers. Wind tunnels were, not so much this wind tunnel. But it was invented by the Wright brothers to test different aerodynamics on aeroplanes and all that sort of stuff. And then a few years later, the army got involved and realised that they could practice some stuff without putting people in danger. And then before you know it, here we are. It's a lot of fun, and run from 3 to 103 is now able to fly, which is pretty cool.
Now, you guys actually have competitions inside the tunnel, which is pretty insane. It's like an extreme sport indoors.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm feeling pretty confident. I might be ready for competition.
Fingers crossed.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
We're at the end of our Judge a Book by its cover competition.
We've been creating covers and trying to judge them. This is the final round. Jackie, are you ready?
Yeah, I feel a bit pressured, but okay.
Oh, Jackie, here it is. Can she guess it? Does she know what it is? I've made a fantasy book cover. Zombies, what else could it be, right? It's a dead giveaway. Anyway, so what I've got is some bright colours like green and little quirky fonts that really help stand out. You really can't mistake a zombie for anything else, so let's see if Jackie's picked it. Jackie, time's up. What's your guess?
Well, it has to be fantasy, right? Zombies aren't real.
Jackie, you're a winner!
Oh my gosh, we're all winners!